the supreme reality of Shiva. What is the nature of existence? What lies beyond the veil of form, beyond the transient waves of creation and destruction? Today, we step beyond the illusion of names, beyond the duality of existence itself, into the unspeakable vastness of Shiva. I am Ancient the Architect, and this is Ancient the Architect TV, where we go beyond the known, past the surface interpretations, and into the boundless core of truth itself. Shiva is not a god in the conventional sense. He is the dissolution of all things, the silence behind all sounds, the space within which all things appear and disappear. He is the pulse of the cosmos, the fire that consumes illusions, the void that cradles eternity. Shiva is the beginning, and Shiva is the end. Yet, he is neither. To even begin to understand Shiva, we must first understand that Shiva is not separate from that which is seeking to understand him. The very awareness within you now, listening to these words, is an emanation of Shiva. He is the ever-present witness, the unshaken stillness beyond thought, beyond perception. Shiva is Brahman in motion, the dynamic expression of the Absolute, unmoving, unchanging, yet paradoxically the force behind all change. As the Absolute, Shiva's role is not to do, but to simply be. In his meditative form, he symbolizes the pure existence, the formless source from which everything emerges effortlessly. This meditative Shiva embodies the state of divine union, where the soul dissolves into infinite consciousness. The act of surrendering our limited identity to Shiva consciousness liberates us completely. This union is not absorption into another, but an awakening to the truth that there never was any separation to begin with. Yet why then does Shiva seem fierce or wrathful? Why do traditions speak of Shiva's anger? Let us look deeper. This perceived wrath is simply the ego's response to spiritual truth, the resistance of our lower nature to divine illumination. Shiva's fierce aspect is not anger, but corrective force, dismantling our illusions, breaking down false identities, guiding us back to ultimate truth. Shiva is compassion disguised as destruction, love hidden within purification. Thus, Shiva is both the ideal, formless Brahman, and the actual, manifesting through name and form. All of creation and dissolution is Shiva's dance, his Tandava. He dances within Akasha, vibrating creation into being, and then dancing forms into their eventual dissolution, continuously guiding spirit back toward the source. Forms are temporary vehicles through which Shiva expresses consciousness. He fills these forms with divine essence, experiences existence through them, then lovingly releases them back into eternity. And let's not overlook the divine Shakti, Shiva's eternal consort, his energy, his power to manifest. Shiva and Shakti are inseparable. Shiva is consciousness, stillness, the unmanifested. Shakti is the active principle, the force that moves Shiva's cosmic dance. Shiva remains motionless, pure awareness. Shakti moves reality, giving birth to universes, planets, souls, thoughts. Yet even this movement arises from and returns to Shiva's stillness. Shiva exists at the threshold between existence and non-existence, between form and formlessness. In this way, he is Rudra, the great dissolver, the storm that shatters illusion. But make no mistake, Rudra is not destruction in the way the limited mind perceives. The fire of Shiva does not burn to harm, but to purify. It strips away the false layers of selfhood, reducing illusion to ash so that only the eternal remains. This is why Shiva is both terrifying and liberating, because he is the force that will dissolve everything you think you are, so that you may finally realize what you have always been. In the vast, unseen architecture of the cosmos, there exists something even beyond light. Akasha, the pure ether, the infinite substratum from which all arises, the formless field of unmanifest potential. This is where Shiva truly dwells, not as a figure, not as a form, but as the very space in which reality emerges and dissolves. And yet, even space itself is but a manifestation of his being. In its absolute form, Shiva is beyond even Akasha. He is the field of pure, unconditioned awareness from which all existence emanates. The ancients understood something modern thought has yet to fully grasp. Existence is vibration. Every atom, every movement, every moment of time is a resonance, a sound vibrating through the infinite expanse of being. But what is the source of this vibration? Shiva's drum, the Damaru, is the origin of sound itself. The beating of that drum is not just symbolic, it represents the very pulse of reality, the cosmic OM, the divine vibration that structures the universe. But what happens when the drum ceases? When vibration collapses back into silence? That silence, that stillness, is Shiva. This is where Shiva transcends the gods, where he ceases to be a mere deity and becomes something more fundamental than divinity itself. He is Mahakala, great time, the supreme principle that does not simply exist within time, but devours it. There is a reason Shiva is depicted sitting in deep, undisturbed meditation while the cosmos churns around him. Because he is beyond movement, beyond becoming. He is the final realization, that which does not move, yet is the source of all motion. This is why those who touch even a fraction of Shiva's consciousness experience the death of all illusions. They do not worship Shiva, they become him. This is the mystery of the Arhat, the one who has severed the chains of illusion, the one who sees past the great deception of selfhood and steps into the blinding, all-consuming light of truth. The Arhat does not simply follow Shiva, he is absorbed into Shiva. He is the mirror without a reflection, the flame that has no form, the witness who sees, but is no longer seen. And so we arrive at the core of it all. Shiva is the absolute, the unmanifest, the Godhead itself. He is the source and the return, the unseen potential from which all things arise, and the abyss into which all things must return. But here is the great paradox, the ultimate, unspeakable truth that can never be understood by the mind, only realized through direct experience. Shiva is already within you. You are not separate from this force. You are not a being looking at Shiva as something external. You have never been separate. You have never been anything else. To know Shiva is not to worship, not to seek, not to attain. It is to dissolve, to let go of all concepts, all attachments, all falsehoods, until nothing remains but infinite awareness, vast and boundless, without name, without identity. This is Shiva consciousness. And so, divine beings, understand this. Shiva is not a belief. He is not a tradition, not a story, not an object of worship. Shiva is a state of being, a reality that exists behind the veil of perception, waiting for those ready to step beyond themselves. The question is, are you ready to dissolve? This has been Ancient the Architect TV, and I am Ancient the Architect. If this knowledge resonates with you, if you are ready to step beyond illusion and into the boundless nature of existence, the Book of Stars and the Mental Distillery is available at healthisluxury.org and on Amazon. Until next time, I leave you in the infinite silence of Shiva.